Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Medicine with Jesus, in which we continue with our discussion on celebrations. So this week we're looking at letter E for exercise. And before we get into our lesson, let's have a quick recap. So in our previous episode, we talked about C for choices, in which we agreed to say life is a collection of choices. And if you want to be healthy, you need to be deliberate about making healthy choices. It is God's desire for you to actually live a healthy life. Throughout the entire series, we're going to be looking at 3 John chapter 1 verse 2, which is written, "Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in good health, just as your soul prospers." John highlights how being in good health is essential for our entire existence. Just as your soul prospers, you have to be in good health. Now we come back to exercise. I actually feel like the previous episode was a good introduction, because when it comes to exercise, you need to be deliberate about making the decision to exercise. You need to be intentional about getting your blood moving and getting your heart pumping. Now, I'm not basically going to tell us the health benefits of exercise, because we have an amazing episode on that, in which we look at exercise and evangelism and how the two are related. For this episode, I'm just going to, I feel, generally talk about why we desperately need to exercise, especially the type of people that we are in this generation. So, there's a certain level of sluggishness. There's a certain laziness that we have come to embrace. And the truth is, it's more destructive than it is beneficial. A lot of us don't want to work. And it so happens that life has actually been oversimplified, that we don't need to be in active labor in order for us to get basic needs, So once upon a time, you needed to go farming, you needed to go hunting for you to actually get food. But today, it's as easy as ordering food online and it's just going to show up at your doorstep. So even just for something like eating, we are no longer involved in active labor for that. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it then means if you actually want to be healthy, you need to be intentional about involving yourselves in moments of active labor. And I'm not talking about bodybuilding. I'm actually just talking about general exercises like aerobic exercises that are very, very important for you. God did not make humans to be idle beings. Moments of idleness are destructive, not just for our mental health, which I also feel is one of the reasons, and there are many reasons, but I feel like it's one of the reasons why several mental health conditions are increasing right now, because there's a certain state of idleness that we are beginning to love. It's also not important, it's not healthy rather, for your physical being. Like moments of idleness, even just for your spiritual being, are unhealthy. A lot of us can testify that it was in moments of idleness that we forgot where we stand and ended up falling. So basically speaking, we were not made to be idle beings. God intends for us to actually be active people. The concept of working came about before sin, and we even need more of it after sin, because when you are actually actively involved in labor, it keeps you busy and you don't have time to sin. Listen to what is written in Acts chapter 17 verse 28. So it says, "For in him we live and move and have our being." This is referencing to Christ, on how in Christ we live, move, and have our being. It shows that even when we are in Christ, there's an aspect of being active. It's not in him we move, sleep, and do absolutely nothing. There's a concept of being actively involved in things and getting yourself busy and getting yourself moving. Let me read a few quotations from Councils on Health. The first one is from page 186, and it says, "Health is a great treasure. It is the richest possession mortals can have. It is a terrible sin to abuse the health that God has given us. For every abuse of health, enfeebles us for life and makes us losers, even if we gain any amount of education. Right now, most of us are busy in the pursuit of education and are active in our careers, but we are neglecting involving ourselves in moments of exercise. We are developing the mind quite all right, which in and of itself is good, but then we are not developing and we're not working on our physical bodies, and we're doing ourselves no good. It is written on page 173 of the same book to say, men and women, young and old, who desire health and who would enjoy an active life should remember that they cannot have these without a good circulation. Whatever their business and inclinations, they should make up their minds to exercise in open air as much as they can. So whatever you are involved in, you need to make up your mind. Old or young, male or female, you need to make up your mind to actively involve yourself in exercise, in good, clean air. It keeps your blood flowing and it keeps you healthy. The health benefits are in another episode, but today we just highlight how it is God's desire for us to be healthy. It is a sin to actually break and destroy the health that God has given us. So you need to be intentional about getting yourself moving, getting yourself active, and being involved in active labor. And this is what is needed for good health, for good mental health, and also for good spiritual health. So that was Medicine with Jesus for the week. And till next time, bye.